Congratulations, you went through the hiring process and you nabbed that job offer. But before you break out the champagne, remember, an offer is not a done deal, and some seemingly innocent mistakes could leave you empty-handed. Here to fill us in is MarketWatch's personal finance reporter, Jacob Passy. Welcome, Jacob. So great to see you. It's certainly a scary prospect. In your reporting, how many times did you find people have an offer that they thought was solid get taken away?
You know, it's not that often, but it does happen. You know, if you've received a job offer, they like you. They're happy to have you. They're excited to have you, hopefully.
Yeah.
But you know, there are mistakes that you can make. There are things that you can do that can lead to an offer being rescinded. It does happen. There are, you know, the obvious things not to do, like lie on your resume or
they'll check all that stuff.
Exactly.
Post lots of pictures of yourself drunk on social media.
Exactly.
We all know that stuff.
Right.
But what about oversharing with your employer-to-be?
Yeah, so that's one thing that came up when I talked to workplace experts is, you know, your employer wants to know about you, but if you're oversharing details about your personal life, that can give them pause. So let's say you have a serious health matter, and it's important for them to know. And I'm not saying you shouldn't tell them. Obviously, the employer should know at some point, but bringing it up early in the process, or bringing up something like you need to pick up your child from daycare early in the process, can give them pause, can make them question whether you're a right fit, can make them worry that you'll be high maintenance, and you don't want to make a potentially less serious issue come across unintentionally more serious.
That makes sense. You can work those things out down the line.
Right.
You don't need to have it all up front. All right, so what about that dreaded salary negotiation talk? Can you bungle this so badly that the job offer gets pulled?
It can happen. You know, you obviously need to do your research. You need to know what the market rate for your position is. Go in informed, but you don't want to go in with a laundry list of demands. You know, you don't want to come across as harsh or overly important in this process. You know, the employer wants you, and you need to set the right tone. You obviously want to get your money's worth out of your job,
sure.
but you don't want to come across as difficult to work with.
Absolutely.
So a lot of it is a back and forth.
Now, this one may surprise a lot of people, but how can not paying your library fines lead to losing that offer?
So roughly half of all employers I found in my research do a credit check as part of the traditional background check. And a bad credit history can make you come across as unreliable. And so, you know, everything from late credit card payments to, yes, even library fines. If you don't pay them, it'll
show up on your report.
Yep. And that can hurt you.
It just shows an employer how responsible you are or not responsible.
Exactly. Right.
All right, so we all know that this was a particularly loaded election season, and a lot of people posted heated political things on social media one way or the other. Is this a big turnoff to a hiring manager?
It can be. You know, I think it's just important for people to know that private employers in most states, not all states, but most states, can fire someone for political statements, for political speech. It's not protected as you might think it would be. For public employers, it's a little different, but if it's a private employer, you can lose your job over that.
There doesn't have to be any reason other than I just didn't like my employee's political position.
I mean, that can happen. So, you know, if you're getting hired by a new company, study up the company. You know, ask about their values, ask to see if there's a company ethics policy. You know, companies will often spell this out if they don't want their employees, you know, especially if you're in a public-facing role. They may not want your political views to be public.
Right. Of course, we know in a media company or if you're looking for a journalism job, you can't do that.
Exactly.
Now, what about being nice to everybody? We know that it's important to be nice to everyone. That's what our parents taught us growing up. But why is this also something that could lead, if you're not nice, could lead to losing your job?
So, you know, less senior staff, the front desk receptionists, the assistants to the hiring managers, those folks are often the eyes and ear when the hiring manager or supervisor is not in the room. So they are watching you and taking note of whether you're courteous, whether you're constantly on your cell phone. You know, they're the eyes and ears. And if you come across as disrespectful to them, you know, these people play an important role at any company. And so a hiring manager won't look too kindly on that. And, you know, part of it is also you don't want to anger them before coming into the job. Let's say you do get the job offer and you do work
They'll
at
help
the
you out
company.
once you're there,
Exactly,
too. Yeah.
exactly. So these are the people you'll need, especially HR staff. You'll need them when you're coming into a new role, so it's best to be on your best behavior with them.
Polite and nice to everyone, just
Exactly.
like Mom taught you. All right,
Right.
Jacob, thank you so much for all that great
Thank you.
advice.